Hi, it's Jeff.
And Denise from Mousesteps.com.
And this is episode number 182.
182.
Of Mousesteps Weekly.
Sponsored by Theme Park Connection in Orlando, Florida.
We just got in a ton of cruise materials, pins and signs and all sorts of stuff.
Right? I mean, a crazy amount of pins. And they have a pin wall, so I think it's $3 a pin unless sometimes they lower the price for short sales.
Well, you can certainly lower the price if you mention Mousesteps in person or online, 10% off.
And Maple Leaf Tickets, they are our official ticket agency, and they have tickets to the theme parks, Walt Disney World, SeaWorld, Universal.
Dinner shows, all sorts of stuff.
Right? And, all kinds of things.
So save money. We support saving money. Anyway, on with the show. We're going to start off at Disney's Hollywood Studios with a lot of Star Wars.
So last week we said goodbye to Lights, Motors, Action, and some other things in New York
Streets of America, right? All sorts of stuff. A lot of goodbyes.
But this week we're going to talk about what is new at Disney's Hollywood Studios, and it is almost all Star Wars.
Yes, it really is. I mean, lots of Star Wars stuff debuted. It was actually a day earlier than originally announced.
For the show. And Star Wars is kind of the new Frozen, I think, at Disney's Hollywood Studios.
Well, we'll see a little later in this segment that a Frozen item has changed, actually, to Star Wars.
Item.
But right now we're watching the Captain Phasma March. It is not on the schedule. It happens up to 4 times a day, and it's really fun, though. I think this was the highlight of the new Star Wars things. There are the First Order Stormtroopers, and they kind of keep you back about 6 feet from where you're going to line up later when you watch the Galaxy Far, Far Away show. So, and there is the captain there, and it's quite menacing when you're there in person, because here come these stormtroopers, and they stop here, and you think this is as close as it's going to get. Not the case. They come within inches of your face. Like, they'll come right at you. You'll see that in a minute. So you were a little further back when
I wasn't over here. I was just waiting for her, I think, return or something. I don't know where I was.
Yeah, but see, I would have loved to have you up here, because they, when they're right there, it's kind of cool to see them at that close proximity. So I kind of moved the camera, got within inches of the stormtroopers. It was fun. I enjoyed that part. And I guess they're about to do their exit. It's pretty short. It's only about a little 5-minute thing, but
so what's the point of it? Because all I saw was a march in and out. Like, what is it that they do? What is the point of it?
Well, it's sort of a formation, and they there's not a real lot of point to be. I mean, I was going to give you a whole bunch of my malarkey, but
right.
There's no real point. They come out, they march, you get pictures. It's sort of like the show you're about to see is.
It's the new Lights, Motors, Action.
Well, it's not a stunt show. Now, this is the best part about this next show, The Galaxy Far, Far Away. The fact that the screen is down lowered so it does not sully the view of the Chinese theater.
Well, the whole stage kind of rises up, right?
It rises out of the ground, which I think is a great idea. Again, it keeps the theater unsullied. I like that. That's the best part of the show, actually.
Well, I didn't wait with you for this.
You arrived a little later, actually.
I had been over at Epcot for a little bit longer, so by the time I got there, it was really hard to see, so I ended up going behind the stage just to see some of the characters walking around back there. Pretty
much 60 to 70% of this show is on screens. It's a lot of scenes from the film, so I condensed it just to the character greetings. You're seeing R2 and a C-3PO, and now you're about to see Darth Maul. So really, when you're just looking at the characters, it's only about 5 minutes.
Well, Disney says Kylo Ren, Chewbacca, Darth Vader, BB-8, Darth Maul, and more recreate famous movie vignettes before your eyes. So I don't know what. I mean,
I suppose I didn't get that from it. It was, to me, what I got was, here are the characters, take some pictures, and then the characters leave. This is the entire Chewbacca now. You've seen all these film clips and everything. Then Chewbacca comes out, he comes up, he kind of waves to you, he shows you his gun, and then before you know it, he's off the stage.
Well, it's not Hyperspace Hoopla. I mean, I guess Disney can't do that anymore. What they did with the Hyperspace Hoopla, they want to keep them...
Right.
Keep the characters to their characters and not
That's why you're not
them.
seeing any face characters. A lot of criticism was there was no Rey, no face characters. No Jedis. I think you're actually right. There's not one Jedi in person. Everything is a costumed character or the robot. So, that's unfortunate. This part is nice. I think this is the Darth Vader, the Stormtroopers with Darth Vader entrance.
I didn't see this. I saw Darth Vader and the Stormtroopers from the other side. Again...
well, you always like the back side of it, though, because they kind of interact with you while they're waiting to go on.
A little bit, and I like to see the characters back there, but also I couldn't really see much here because by the time I got here, there was a lot of people. So
And
a
kids
lot of
on
guests,
shoulders and things like that.
You know, iPads in the air. So I really couldn't see anything, and that's the one negative thing about the show.
Well, you know what? This is better than the real show, watching this now, because we've cut out all the fat. You're just looking at the characters, and you're pretty much seeing, this is pretty much the show right there.
Good.
So,
And
so
the
yeah,
thing
saved
is,
you a lot of aggravation.
during the day also, like, I couldn't really see what was going on too much on the screens because, you know, it's not like
very
at
bright.
night. Right. At night you can see it. You would be able to see it, but not during the day as much.
And I waited about an hour to see this, and during that wait, of course, the Phasma thing happened. The time went by. It wasn't a hot day. Now, when in a hot day in August, if you have to get there early, I recommend if you have little kids, you need to get there in advance so you can get a close-up front spot so they can see. But it'll be very hot to wait, later on. We are very lucky we had a good day there. And here's Kylo Ren. I guess this is his vignette, as you call it. But,
I didn't call it that. Disney calls it that. So it is a lot of Star Wars for me, though. I am just a very casual fan. Like, I watched 2 times the Star Wars, you know.
Force Awakens.
I'm good with a Force Awakens probably for the next 10 years. So it's, you know, it's a little too much Star Wars.
Here you go.
For me.
BB-8 makes his theme park debut, his live debut there, rising out of the stage, which is kind of odd. He doesn't really roll. He kind of just tilts.
Well,
but at least you're seeing BB-8 in person.
Well, we learned in the documentary he's actually like a puppet. You know, that I did enjoy the documentary on the.
Well,
on
we
the
watched
Force
that the
Awakens.
other day, the Blu-ray documentary.
Right. And but he doesn't in real life either. Like, they actually have to kind of roll him around with a. You know, a puppeteer.
What are you saying?
No,
there's a real BB-8.
Right,
You're spoiling the magic.
Sorry. Well,
you are spoiling the magic
Disney
right now.
has it on their Blu-ray.
So here we go. This is sort of the grand finale. All the characters come out. I look at this as, again, a photo op. It's pretty much come out, see the characters leave, be on your way. I think that's pretty much what the show is. It is. I mean, it's not an awful show.
Instead of A Galaxy Far, Far Away, it should be called A Galaxy Be On Your Way.
Well, we're gonna do a vintage segment now, because after watching that, I wanted to remember the fun of the Hyperspace Hoopla. We're going 10 years ago now. This is footage I shot in 2006.
This is early Hyperspace Hoopla, not a later one.
Very early Hoopla. You can see there is no Jedi training stage or anything. It's just a sign in the back. So these were so much fun. The Hyperspace Hoopla, these are the kind of things that you will not see now. You won't see the characters acting goofy or any of this kind of thing. But it was so much fun.
Well, I think the Hyperspace Hoopla towards the end. I mean, it was just too many guests knew about it by then. Like, here, you can see it wasn't that crowded. You know, it was sort of just kind of like a little cult following.
Right, absolutely.
And but then by the end, it got really, really, really busy. But it was always fun to watch, and I'd go to the back of the stage just like I did this time, and you'd get to see the characters kind of roam around.
Well, back in these days, back in 2006, there was no back of the stage.
Here, but it's not so busy either.
Well, actually, I think I had to wait an hour for that, too, to be in the front row back then.
But
I didn't, I was the only
bad.
one doing it. There wasn't a lot of other people waiting.
Right.
So it was much easier 10 years ago.
You could kind of see it, like if I was a little bit further back, like towards the bathroom area, it was, I could still see what was going on the stage. But there's Chewbacca, the Cantina band, and then you have the Stormtroopers.
Now, this kind of reminds me of the Stormtrooper skit that they would always have in Star Wars weekends. This is a precursor to that, and the crowd kind of goes wild.
I wonder if we'll ever see a Stormtrooper skit again.
No, you will
never.
not. I do not think so.
That you will not see ever, probably.
I suspect not. Now, wouldn't it be funny if Captain Phasma just started doing something like this, or one of those First Order Stormtroopers in the other show? That would liven that show up, don't you think?
I think so, yes. I think it made Star Wars fun. Like I was saying, it's
a bit serious now, and I kind of miss the days of it, just the pure fun of it. Mm-hmm. So now we're going to take more. Of course, there's more Star Wars. Somebody said that the favorite line of all is Star Wars Land looks a lot like New York.
Yes, it does.
I love that. That was somebody wrote that in.
So I had written this down just from Disney. There's going to be a Millennium Falcon attraction, and you would actually pilot the fastest ship in the galaxy, steering the vessel through space, firing the laser cannons, and like each guest is supposed to be able to kind of steer it themselves. So it'll be interesting to see how that type of technology
Very
works here.
interesting. Very interesting. Yes.
And there's at least 2 attractions. I mean, it doesn't sound like a lot, but I mean...
Well, it'll be a fully interactive land. You'll probably have
Right.
the blue milk. You'll have people in Star Wars
Characters.
attire. Yeah, that Star Wars land does look like New York. But I like, it's interesting to have the concept art fully around the area where Star Wars land is going to be. And we know it is the New York street there, Streets of America.
And it will be 14 acres, just like at Disneyland. It'll be interesting to see if Disneyland's opens first. It would be really cool if they could get it for the next birthday. Right now it's 60, so maybe
For the
65th.
65th. You're saying it's going to take them 5 years to build that thing up?
I think, yes.
How long do you think?
Look how long. Okay, Frozen Ever After, we're going to talk about a year and a half at least, just to fix up a ride. I know they're
Well,
gutting
speaking
it.
of Frozen, and we're going to see the update on Frozen Ever After later, you can see that the Legends of Hollywood store here that we're looking at used to be a Frozen store. No more. It is now a Star Wars store,
And it had-
completely rethemed.
And it had done it. It had changed just like a few days before I was like, we were walking around. I'm like, oh look, it's now Star Wars. I bet it will be Star Wars for a while. But they said it's because Watto's Grotto had closed down, just like the rest of that area of Hollywood Studios, of Disney's Hollywood Studios, closed.
I do like the decor, the retheming. I think they did a nice job of it. And, I think I'm good with the Frozen store going away. Are you okay with that?
Yeah, I mean, I'm okay with Star Wars stuff going away now, too. Like, I'm done with...
It isn't
I'm
even
done
started.
with Star Wars.
It
I
hasn't
want to
even-
say... I would, when we did Star Wars weekends, there was so much fun with the Star Wars characters, but now, kind of like with the Hyperspace Hoopla, so it's not as much fun anymore. It's just Star Wars, and I enjoy
Well, I have
the
to
movies,
admit, you're
but
right
not-
about one thing. At the studios, once you've seen everything, once you've seen the movie, once you've been to Launch Bay, once you've seen this new show, there's not that much repeatability. The fireworks should be spectacular. They're having new fireworks. Okay,
Oh, yeah,
enough
I'm
of that.
looking forward to
Enough of
that.
that. No more Star Wars. We're off to Epcot.
I do love Epcot, and I always love Epcot, and Epcot is completely repeatable for me each and every time.
So we're looking at a few little changes we noticed. First off, the main topiary here with Huey, Dewey, and Louie. We have the vegetable garden and the signs telling you we were looking at some carrots there. And you can see the actual carrots. And all the various veggies are actually right there. Radishes. It's pretty neat. They used to do that in the past as well.
Well, we're about halfway through the Epcot Flower and Garden Festival, as far as the dates, and it just changes. It changes all the time, which is one of the great things about it, is that you can go to the park and see something new. You could probably go every day and see something that you haven't seen before that is new.
As you can kind of surmise from looking at this video, this day was absolutely spectacular.
In the 70s,
it was in
like
the
75.
70s, no humidity, beautiful sun. What a day. I mean, we had some absolute wonderful days that we went out at.
Right.
And we're going to look at the land has, and I'm calling it a placeholder sign. The old sign used to have like a waterfall. It was illuminated. It was a big sign. This is more of just a little flat metal sign. And my guess is, because they also took down the sign for Soarin', is they may, I mean, this is just my guess.
Well, it's also the manager's guess that you talked to. Like, it was kind of a combination theory.
They may have a brand new big sign that mentions Soarin' is here too. So, so many people ask, where's Soarin'? They should have the land featuring Soarin', something like that. So that could be why you see that little
Right, so guests
sign.
kind of can find it. And here we are at
ImageWorks.
Yes, and there's not too much going on in there, except they are re-theming the upper area.
It used to be the ImageWorks up there, and that's where you used to go and play with all the futuristic things from Journey into Imagination.
Which I still miss.
And yes. Well, you will not get that back, so... but this is a DVC lounge, so you'll be able to go up there. You won't have all the games and Dreamfinder and all that stuff, but it will be a DVC lounge.
And here we are. There is Chip and Dale, and there's been some changes here too. They've been adding signs like this says "Find Your Park." I think they had
National Park Rangers,
right?
I believe.
They had been talking about having a National Park Ranger, that they would have them, and I would have never known he was a ranger. Like, I thought he'd have a hat.
See, they should dress
like
them
Smokey
like
Bear.
Smokey Bear. They should all be
look,
dressed.
right there.
That is how they should look. This guy was in normal attire, so you would never know.
Right, I had no idea.
Smokey Bear himself should have been there.
And he had like a little cast member type tag attached to him, so I'm like, is that a ranger?
See, that's a ranger. That is.
Yes.
They should all be holding binoculars. and wearing that hat, and then there would be no confusion. This is a new stage over in Germany, and we've heard that there will be eventually entertainment on this stage. So not only will you have to, you won't have to go and pay to the beer garden to see entertainment. You'll get it free out here, included, I should say, nothing free.
Supposedly, because it was supposed to be built, I thought, just for the Flower and Garden Festival. We're halfway through it, and I don't know if
we were told it wouldn't debut until well into the festival.
Right, but why not?
They're not ready.
But there's
stage takes a long time.
By the time the festival closes, it's going to be nothing.
Here we go. Frozen Ever After. The boats have recently been spotted on the highways, by the way.
Yes, on I-4.
Yeah, very interesting. It's starting to really come together. It's only been 2 years in the making here.
Well, I mean, in 2014, we left for Paris, and they closed it and that was
Maelstrom
September.
closed, yep.
So it's going to be almost almost 2 years.
About a year and 3/4, you're right.
Yeah.
So I believe this is the area of the Anna and Elsa meet and greet that we're looking at there.
Right.
Is it Village House or something?
Well,
like
it's
that?
called the Royal Summer House.
Oh, Summer House.
Right, and it's supposed to be like a cozy summer cabin to meet Anna and Elsa. And somewhere around here also restrooms. So
very exciting. An expanded restroom
bathrooms.
footprint would be very good.
Anytime there's extra restrooms, I'm happy.
Yeah, that's not a bad thing.
But I think this looks. I'm sure it will look nice.
Will there be fast passes? Will it be a
for this? I have no.
Well, I mean for the meet and greet, not the restroom.
I have no idea.
Yeah, that hasn't been announced. Then is what
maybe for the restroom.
And I would imagine there has to be fast passes for the ride.
Well, I'm sure I would expect just like Maelstrom. I mean, it's not like there's that many things to have fast pass in Epcot, so that would be one addition. Also, you can change, the fast passes are very different now. So if you look at My Disney Experience,
fully updated. We'll have to talk about that more next week. Now we're off to Universal. We haven't been there in a while, and we are seeing Hello Kitty. Hello Kitty made her meet and greet debut, and it was very exciting to see her.
Right. I mean, she debuted recently along with the store behind her. And this is a very big store. It used to be the Lucille Ball.
The I Love Lucy exhibit. That was an opening day exhibit, so one of the very last vestiges has closed. But I think this will do well. There's a lot of Hello Kitty fans. And I'll tell you, if you want to buy that stuff, they have something for everyone. Even I don't even know much about Hello Kitty, and I saw things I liked in there, which is insane.
There's a bunch of different rooms. I mean, I wasn't expecting the store to be so big. And that's opened, I think it opened a few weeks ago. I missed that Hello Kitty up there. There's a lot to
see. But like you said, I should mention, we were very lucky we went early, so we were able to get this video of the store with nobody in there. I imagine it's very crowded later in the day.
That could be. And but I enjoy the decor. I like the Hello Kitty. I'm not a fan of Hello Kitty, but I would, if I had a Hello Kitty shirt and it was cool, I'd wear it or something.
So do you know anything about Hello Kitty at all?
I had heard something about Hello Kitty wasn't really a cat, but I looked it up and it's sort of like Mickey. It's more how do you call it?
I know the word you're looking for, but I cannot pronounce it.
It's like Hello Kitty would fit into Zootopia because Hello Kitty is a female and she's a girl, but she is still a cat.
Now, these are the things that I thought were pretty cool here. These posters, sort of like there's an E.T., a Hello Kitty E.T. poster. And I think my favorite one is the Back to the Future one. So I told you, even I found something I like. I would get a shirt with this, even though, again, I'm not a Hello Kitty fan.
The Jaws one is kind of interesting.
Yeah, the Jaws one is very interesting.
The Jaws has the bow. And those were outside during the construction time, they had those posters out there as well.
And I just took this little shot so you can kind of see from the store where she's meeting. It's right outside. You can look out the window and see the backside of the meet and greet there.
Right, and it wasn't too busy. But again, the park wasn't. I don't think it was.
It was
busy,
a Sunday, but it wasn't horrible.
Awful.
Right.
I think it was kind of it's been the tail end of spring break.
Yeah. Well, speaking of Jaws, there goes the rest of your Jaws.
And there's the Jaws shirts. You could wear the Jaws shirt with Hello Kitty. Swimming over it.
And we're going to take a look at this character. It looks like one of those angry bird type things.
It does kind of look like that.
But I'm sure it isn't. Somebody that's watching will correct us and tell us all the correct stuff about it.
Actually, it looks more like a cat.
An angry cat?
Is it a cat? Maybe, like a cat or a bird. I don't know.
But you can see the extent of the re-theming. I mean, the whole shop is fully done. But anyway, that's about it for Hello Kitty. You can see that she has various time zones in the other Universal parks. But we're going to move on to a great lunch. We did something we have not done before. We went to Lombard's.
Now, Lombard's I didn't even realize it was an opening day restaurant. And
in the San Francisco area.
I don't think I've ever been there. I mean, maybe when the park opened, it is possible I ate there. This is just like Finnegan's in that it's a very moderately priced restaurant.
I was very impressed. Very, very impressed. Number one, we made a reservation, free to make the reservation, which,
easy.
Very easy to do. You get there. Again, I've never been in here. Don't know anything about it.
I don't think I have.
It's a beautiful, welcoming area with the water and the fish. It really is set to in the mood. And they gave us a great table right by an aquarium. So while we're waiting for our food, we're able to watch the fish swim. And it has a very nice look to the interior.
Now, this is a recreation of San Francisco's Fisherman's Wharf. They consider it the Universal's flagship restaurant. Again, since park opening, they tend to be more about seafood, but I had beef, and there was also chicken and burger and such.
So this is the highlight we're looking at here is the butter. You're seeing Universal butter.
I love that they still have embossed butter at their sit down restaurants.
And we see some bread. We also, of course, got complimentary
sourdough
bread, which was very good.
And entrees here start at about $11.99 if you want like a burger or sandwich, which is to me very reasonable for this type of a restaurant.
Now I had corn chowder lobster bisque side by side.
The same bowl with an
L for Lombard, you could see there. Wonderful. It was that was really good.
And my salad was good too. It was actually a pretty good size. I ordered it extra on the side. It was like $2.99 extra with my entree.
Okay, and now I ordered the lobster roll, and it was a very good lobster roll. I wouldn't say it was the best I've ever had, but for the price, I mean, it was definitely a great deal, and there's a big chunks of lobster in there, so I was happy with it. And it came with the kettle chips too.
Oh, right. And then I had the beef
medallions.
Right. It's kind of like when I had it at Mythos. So Mythos has similar beef medallions, and those were I thought they were very good. And you had the veggies on the side.
It almost was exactly the same as Mythos, because I think I ordered that at Mythos as well, and it looks exactly the same to me.
And I like the branded napkins. That's one thing with Universal that I really like. Again, the embossed butter at the restaurants and the napkins.
Dreamboats outside.
Yes.
I like the dream boats. Very nice. And we're going to take a little look. There is the shark from Jaws. Again, you could eat outside as well, by the way. Less of a wait if you wanted to be outside. But
is that true?
That's what they said.
Because I don't even remember them saying that.
So now we're looking at the Fast and the Furious construction here. We did it in California. Out there, it's part of the tram tour, and it was just okay. I'm not overly excited about this new attraction.
I mean, I'm not a Fast and Furious fan. Like, I've only seen one of the movies, and it's not really my thing.
It's very screen-based, though. I mean, we can link in the show notes to the California version. I've heard it's going to be very similar. Here's another new attraction coming up, the Jimmy Fallon Race Through New York.
Now, this, I think, might be a lot of fun. We don't watch Jimmy Fallon.
Only because we don't get
NBC.
Network, right.
So,
we have
at least right now.
Cable that connects our antenna to the TV. That's our cable.
So, and also, like, a lot of times I'm not up that late anyway. But this looks like it could be a lot of fun. Jason Searle did a little piece on it online.
Now we're at the Reign of Kong, another new attraction, a major, I guess I could say, e-ticket attraction coming to Universal very soon, this early this summer.
Well, probably in, maybe a couple months. And
June, I'm hearing June.
Yeah, or June or early July or something is what, I know there's supposed to be a media event in June, so it won't be long after that, I think. But it really looks like, if the inside is anything like the outside, I think it will be a really great attraction.
What I like is how it seems that the vehicles, if you get a different driver, a different type of vehicle, you get a different story. So a lot of re-rideability. Each car will have a sort of a different storyline to it.
Well, there you have you can see here it says Skull Island, Reign of Kong.
Which is a big film also coming out next year.
Is that true?
Yeah,
I
huge
didn't even know
film.
that.
Yes, a big movie. Yes.
And again, we're in Islands of Adventure here, not the main Universal Park, which is where we were for some of the other, pretty much everything else. But you have call it an iconic entrance, and then you have the ride vehicles, which will be very large. Like, everything's large.
And speaking of large, there's a large gift shop already in place in case you want to buy some Reign of Kong merchandise.
Well, there's not a King Kong gift shop itself. This is in the main store. But there is quite a bit to buy.
Yeah, as you'll see here, yes. Do we have any other information about the ride, or is...
No, I have more stuff about Jimmy Fallon, though.
Well, let's talk about Jimmy. Tell me more about Jimmy Fallon. You've done the research.
I have. I wrote so much stuff down, but I was mentioning Jason Sorrell had joined Universal Creative, and I had never seen his blog piece about it. And that was the first thing he was given was, and everybody knows Jason Sorrell from Disney. He was with Disney for a long time. But Jimmy Fallon was his first attraction. And he said he found inspiration in celebrity races from The Tonight Show, which I don't know what that means. I'm going to have to look it up on YouTube or something. And it says, you'll rocket through the streets and skies of New York City, encountering colorful characters, famous landmarks, and anything else that comes to Jimmy's mind.
And you'll see Kong while you're doing it.
You'll see Kong. Maybe you'll see Kong during the ride. I don't know.
Well, speaking of rocketing around, the Incredible Hulk also will return. And the track looks great. Everything looks bright and shiny. So I'm very much looking forward to that. I always liked the Hulk coaster. It's one of these coasters that sort of blasts you off from 0 to whatever. So like Rock and Roller Coaster.
It's getting some new enhancements, although I don't think they've really said too much about it at all. But it's supposed to be smoother, which I didn't think it wasn't smooth to begin with. It was really smooth.
At the end, I guess it was a little rougher.
But it's just amazing that they took like the whole track apart, like everything down, and then put it back. I thought that was really cool. But they're going to have the ride vehicles and overall experience and storyline are supposed to be kind of different. So we'll see how it is this summer.
You know, there's a lot to look forward to at Universal. Big stuff at Islands of Adventure.
There's a lot going on.
Oh, and here's some merchandise, of course, from the Hulk coaster. So that shirt there gives you all the information we don't have. So, and next was probably the highlight of the day for me, meeting Spider-Man. You know, we met him at Disneyland Paris. We met him last year at Disneyland in California. And I felt it was time to meet him in my own backyard here at Universal Orlando. And there he is, there's Spider-Man. And he was great. It was a really fun interaction.
I thought, you know, I didn't get in there to meet him. I was just taking pictures of you with Spider-Man because Jeff was so excited to see Spider-Man.
I love Spider-Man.
And I think we've met him once together.
Yeah, we did meet him here, and we just did photos when we had the Photo Connect Pass. And this is really more of a photo type of a meet and greet than what I'm doing here. But, you know, Spider-Man, he was very talkative.
He was very talkative.
He's very friendly. Spider-Man is a good guy. So, and, you know, there's a new movie that was announced, Spider-Man Homecoming, and he's actually it'll be a younger Peter Parker in the movie, high school age Peter Parker, so very exciting. It'll be a 2017 release, and it'll be Marvel working with Sony, so looking forward to that for next year. Anyway, we're going to talk about the Toothsome Chocolate Factory.
And this is a 19th century inspired steampunk chocolate factory.
Say that twice.
It's very hard to say at once. But they're not going to just have chocolate, although they'll have a lot of chocolate.
Yes.
But they're going to have steak, seafood, pasta entrees, gourmet burgers. They say they're going to have an all-day brunch. And then there's going to be like a massive quantities of chocolate and desserts.
I cannot wait for this. This looks fantastic. It's in the former location of the NBA restaurant.
City or
something
whatever.
Like
We
that.
never
went there.
No.
I will go there to this place as soon as possible. By the way, it has nothing
to do for the chocolate.
Nothing to do with Willy Wonka, by the way.
Right.
Nothing to do with that. But look at these items here. I'm getting hungry.
Well, these are the shakes, and there's like a bacon brittle milkshake. There's a red velvet milkshake. There's all kinds of milkshakes and dessert items. And I'm really looking forward to it because Universal does such a great job with food.
Look at that banana split. Unbelievable. I've never seen anything like this stuff. So it will certainly not be health food, I don't think.
Probably.
We'll have to go in there and order a salad.
You can. You just can go in there when it opens and order a salad if you want no dessert. So there should be something for everybody.
Well, anyway, that looks great. Toothsome, do we have any idea when it's scheduled to open?
All I know is later this year. So it doesn't look quite ready yet.
As you can see.
I would bet at least fall or so, but who knows if they can kick it into gear.
Looks good. Anyway, that is another show. Thanks for hanging in there with us. And also thanks to our sponsors, Maple Leaf Tickets
and Theme Park Connection.
Have a great week, everyone, and we'll see you all next week.
Have a great week.